Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Blues Over Booze. Now, obviously, it's been quite some time since our last episode, approximately 6 weeks, in fact. So, just a quick recap. Since then, we have had a disappointing draw at home to Port Vale, followed by a horrendous defeat away at Bristol Rovers. We then had 4 successive wins. What was the first one? Away at Coventry, yep. Then at home to Walsall, away at Wimbledon, and at home to Oldham. And just when things were looking really good, we've now had since had 2 defeats. The unlucky loss against Bolton on Tuesday, followed by the somewhat disappointing display by our depleted team at Charlton yesterday, which led to a 2-1 defeat. So. So I'm sure Shane is desperate to tell everyone how rubbish we are and how he's been saying all along that it's just going to blow up and we're just going to go on a downward spiral from now. So Shane,
yes, I don't know. I think we've done all right. I think Port Vale. I can't remember too much about that game, if I'm honest.
Funny enough, I only remember because I saw, so many people now do away day, away ground hopping and stuff like that. And I saw a video that some bloke did of the Port Vale game that he filmed from the South Stand, and so yeah, it wasn't until I saw that I realised how dire we actually were.
We were poor then.
Yeah, you would have loved the video because he spent the whole time going on about how Ben Coker was clearly our best player because he was basically the only one involved in absolutely anything good. But it was pretty crap. But I don't think we should dwell on that too much. Bristol Rovers. Well, less said about that the better.
Yeah, I think there was a few words in the dressing room afterwards, weren't there? I'm pretty sure.
He kept them in the dressing room, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a few discussions in the dressing room after that one, which not to be surprised because that was just absolutely woeful.
Yeah,
poor performance.
But then we got back on track. Then with the 4 wins and
well, to be honest, if we couldn't beat Coventry,
Darren, we lost to Bristol Rovers and then Walsall, we went one up top again. And we went 2-0 down.
Oh yeah, we all knew that that I mean it was blatantly obvious that that starting 11 and formation against Walsall was a joke. It's typical Phil Brown, just for no apparent reason. Well, to be fair, he had made changes for the previous couple of games, but that I mean it was just ridiculous.
And then he was extremely. Not necessarily rude, but disparaging, disrespectful, not very nice about the fans and about their pie and pint and how they were slating the team at half time and they shouldn't.
Was he?
Yes.
I don't know anything about that.
The fans over their pie and their pint would have made changes at half time, but I looked at the stats.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think that was disparaging at all.
Well,
I see we had
chances. Like we didn't know what we were talking about.
No, all
these fans sing from the same hinge. I can even talk tonight. Same hymn sheet. Yeah.
No, all he was saying was that he knows everyone in the ground basically would have made changes, but whereas he did on the other occasions, he decided that in his opinion that it wasn't necessary. Obviously, but it was blatantly obvious that it was necessary. And I think that was proved by the fact that no sooner did he make those changes than we suddenly started scoring. Yes, I agree, Chris. In fact, we were just talking a minute ago about the fact that, according to today's Sun, Sheffield United are very interested in signing him. However, I don't think it's so much Lenny, because I think at Charlton, the whole midfield was completely different, as was obviously the defence.
On the way back from Charlton yesterday, I did say to quite a few people, it's not necessarily the case, but it does seem strange that we've been without Leonard for the last 2 games and we've lost those 2 games.
Yeah, and the same did happen last season. So it is a fair point. He is one of those players. He is. You maybe don't always realise just how important he is until he's missing.
Well, let's get back Coventry. If you can't beat Coventry at the moment, then you've got no chance of doing anything.
You say that, but at the same time, they've won their last couple of games. They're fighting for their lives.
When we played them, they were down. They couldn't buy a win. Regardless of what the goals said, they couldn't buy a win. They were awful, and we weren't much better.
No, we weren't much better, but then we had a
got out,
much changed team out as well. I don't think that team would have been
Walsall
anybody else,
Brown
to be
got it
honest.
all wrong again for the umpteenth time this season, and he got lucky. We got 3 second half goals. Well, Cox
Yes,
winning.
that's very true. I was looking at your fixtures to come, Bob, and yeah, I've got to say it's not easy at all. I think it's away at Fleetwood, albeit they lost the other day. I think that's your next game, and then you've also got to play Oxford and Bristol Rovers.
And
By
Northampton.
the same
which,
token, we've got to play teams at the bottom who are fighting to stay in the league. So I
well,
don't
yeah,
think we've got
yeah,
to
yeah,
lose.
absolutely.
I know.
And also, just on a side note, while I think of it, Bob, I heard recently about Sue not being well, so I hope she's all right, and send her my love. Anyway, so where were we? Yeah, so that was Coventry and Walsall, and then Wimbledon. Well, I don't think anyone could have any complaints about Wimbledon. I didn't think it wasn't a great it wasn't the greatest game. But I think the difference was the quality of our strike force. And although I didn't think it was the greatest game, I've heard so many people, including like my mate was a Wimbledon fan who was listening on the radio. It sounds like everyone associated with Wimbledon was raving about how good we were. So
I think we've done the job. We've done what we had to do. We got out there with the
And
3
that was
points.
a cracking
Job done.
goal from Cox.
it was. I mean, it wasn't a bad.
I'm not Cox's greatest fan, but I was very impressed with that. I think that was a good contender for goal of the season.
I hope so too, mate.
Yeah, we'll have you at home first, 0-0, then we go back to your place, beat you there, and then we'll all run on the pitch and stand in front of your fans like they used to like to do at Millwall and wave at them.
Somehow,
I look forward to that.
Somehow, if we both get in the playoffs, somehow I don't think we're going to be playing each other, because that means one of us at least has to make it to fourth. And I think I don't know. Despite picking up results in the last couple of games, I still think Scunthorpe could slip out. I think Bradford are going to make it, but I still think Scunthorpe could slip out. So
I think Bradford and Fleetwood are certs, and then it's between us, Millwall, and Scunthorpe.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I mean, even I think it's Oxford who are now 3 points behind us, so it's not.
Yeah, they're all there, but yeah.
Not impossible at all. But I mean, it changes so quickly, though. I mean, we've seen in the last month or so, we've gone from being in 5th place, well ahead of Millwall, to being below Millwall, and then 4 points behind, them having 2 games in hand, then us being in front again, and now we're behind. But it's only 1 point. At the end of the day, I mean, yes, we're playing teams that are fighting for their lives and everything, and none of the games are being easy. But when I actually look at our remaining fixtures and Millwall's remaining fixtures, yeah, well, it depends who we've got in goal. I think hopefully we still have Walton by then, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we all love Neil.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I think that's a wind up for Darren, that is.
Yeah,
It's a wind up for me as well.
Yeah, one of the worst players I've ever seen. I said that before before yesterday. And
I thought they was a bit harsh on him with that when they said he missed that header.
yeah, I
That's a
agree.
bit harsh there.
I agree. That,
But why was he on the pitch
he was
at all when we
yeah.
had Fortuné on the pitch?
Exactly.
Because
What
Fortuné's done nothing wrong.
has Fortuné done wrong? And this is the most annoying thing, because I was expecting to have for our next Blues Over Booze to be a really positive one, because we've been doing so well. And
that's why I wait till we lose a couple of games before we do one.
Yeah, typical. Yeah. So do you still think we're going to finish mid-table?
Yes.
Interestingly, we had a trust committee meeting last Monday, and someone at the meeting said that they thought we'd still get automatic promotion, which we were all a bit shocked
well,
by.
before last Monday I would have said the same thing.
At the same time, somebody also brought up the fact we could finish 16th. So
I wonder who that was.
It wasn't Shane. It wasn't not Shane. So his prediction could end up right. He did actually say we'd never been promoted under Brown, and we did.
I'll say this.
You can't take it all. But
Bolton on Tuesday. Did we deserve to win? No. Did we deserve to lose? No. But we lost.
Although that's not what Phil Parkinson thinks. Apparently, nobody in the entire ground would have said that Bolton didn't deserve the win.
He's an absolute arsehole. He's nearly as a bigger arsehole as Brown. That's why they get onto Altogether.
But they weren't that night.
But yes, if you have got ambitions of playoffs or whatever in this division, you've got to be beating Charlton. I'm sorry. I don't care what team we put out there.
Yeah, but you can.
You can come out and say, "Oh, we've lost this player, we've lost that player." Or
Yes, but there is. You can say that about any game that you don't win, but there are always games like that. There are plenty of games that Sheffield United, who have just been promoted, would have been expected to win this season, but haven't. I mean, they lost 3-0 home to us, for God's sake. So you know, it happens.
We shouldn't be losing at Bristol Rovers. We shouldn't be losing at Cheltenham.
No, of course we shouldn't.
But also, the other thing that we can't forget is we had a shocking start to the season. We lost so many games,
which I knew we would at the time because we had so many players missing. If we hadn't done that,
we would be up there with Sheffield United now.
Yeah, and the fact is, like we've just won before the recent 2 defeats. We've won our previous 4 games. We are more than capable of winning our last 4. Personally, I don't think Millwall will win their last 4. But when you look at the games we've got, we are more than capable, and even looking at past results this season, it is perfectly possible that we will get back on track, win all 4, and then we'll be bang on form for the playoffs. And if everyone's back as well, at the end of the day, you added First of all, I think anyone else but Nublé up front, we would have got at least a point yesterday. Yeah, let's not forget that Alan Thompson scored their winner for them as well. And if you
back the car up a bit. Hang on 1 second. So if Fortuna had played instead of Nublé, we would have got a point out of that game yesterday.
I think so. Yeah.
How did you work that out?
Because there was so much play in their half towards the end of the game, and every single time, Nublé completely missed the ball.
I'll tell you where we went wrong yesterday. We started with Theo Robinson up front and tried to hit a long ball onto his head every time. Robinson's game is going in the channels, running the ball down.
Well, I would have started Robinson anyway. I would have started with Fortunate, and then maybe brought Robinson on. But why?
So I can sit in the stand and I can see that they're putting the ball on Robinson's head instead of playing into the channels to him, and Brown stands on the touchline and he can see the same. Why is he not telling them to put it on the bloody floor and pass it? There was too many players yesterday who waited for something to happen instead of trying to make it happen, and that happens all too regular with this team. Or for some reason, that one odd occasion we just do not turn up. Yesterday was one of them occasions. I agree with you, Nublé. I don't even know why we ever signed him. I still don't, because he was cheap, according to Ron. That's Ron's exact words. He was so cheap, we couldn't turn him down.
And the last player we signed just before him as well, Hines, who I completely forgot even played for us until he was on the bench yesterday for the first time in absolutely ages. Because considering we were without McLaughlin so long.
Who's been woeful since he's come back from injury.
No, I thought his first couple of games back he was brilliant, but then the last couple.
That was another thing yesterday. Why the hell he was still on the pitch? He should have been the first one substituted, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then if he had been taken off for McGlashan, then everyone would have said, "Oh, he's being negative." Like we just replacing like for like.
You knew that.
So we end up putting Ferdinand up front.
He's the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, but
there's always a sacrificial lamb in Brown's book. He takes the easy option to take people off.
But the fact is,
instead of who he should be taking off.
But the fact is, we know our squad isn't, well, not in every area anyway, as strong as we'd like to think. But our first 11 is still very strong, and the fact is,
11 is very good.
The fact is, Coker, who you don't like anyway. But he's still a great player. Coker could be back for next week. No idea about Ranger and Wordsworth, but it's perfectly possible.
Ranger's his knee, isn't it, apparently, so I was told. I don't know.
Ranger's his knee and Wordsworth is his neck. So it's perfectly possible. Well, obviously we've only got one more game without Lenny as well, because I think that was the biggest problem yesterday. And midfield, Timlin in place of Lenny, no problem at all. That is obvious as far as I'm concerned, and I don't think we would miss Lenny. But you take out an attacking-minded midfielder, our second top scorer, Wordsworth, and replace him with a defensive midfielder, Amos. Them two alongside each other just...
Is Amos a defensive midfielder?
Well,
I don't know.
I've heard him described as such.
I thought the kid's got some good touches.
I thought he played a lot better yesterday.
He made one silly mistake in the first half when he tried to play it out from into the box and gave it away. But is he any better than Jack Bridge? This is my whole argument.
No, and I would much rather have Jack Bridge there.
Is he still out on loan?
He didn't go on loan, did he? He was training with Bournemouth over Christmas because they wanted him, but he didn't actually go there on loan. I mean,
So
I can't imagine he's going to get into. I know it's ridiculous, and that's another thing that I don't like that about Brown, but it doesn't mean that that everything is bad and we have to be negative about everything. That's just one thing about Brown. That and the fact.
How many do you want? I can list a whole list of things about Brown, mate, and you know it.
You're not paying me enough, Andy. You need to, you need to come up with the goods, some sponsorship. I might start selling sponsorship space around this room, actually.
But applause to the fans, 2,500 yesterday. That's a good support from any club in this league.
Fantastic turnout.
A lot of strangers I don't know about.
There you go. That's your freebie.
Very good read.
Yeah.
Everyone should read this book.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all.
there's a couple-
That's all you're getting until you open your wallet.
There are a couple of errors in there that I've pointed out to Mr. Leader, I must admit.
Yeah.
A little bit of poetic licence or whatever they call it. A couple of errors he's put in there, but I've sorted them out for him.
Yeah.
Yes, but no. Anyway, getting back to the games. So, what's going to happen now then? If these players, so obviously there's no Leonard, Ranger we don't know about.
Leonard will
Yeah,
be
well,
back
yeah,
for
but
Monday.
yeah, Leonard, we're only without for
Johnny
one more
White,
game.
who's been excellent in a game in what he played yesterday, and goes off injured, which is a
Yeah, but
Did he go off injured?
yes, he did, which is a
What
big
is the
blow.
injury? Do you know? I don't even know.
I don't know, but
Anybody else know what the injury is?
the fact is, if Coker's back, then we're back to our usual back four, and that's not a problem. So but that is that's all that I think that is the main thing at the end of the day. We said
So
about the start of
basically, our
the
front
start of the
line-
season we were crap because we had players missing. We've now got players missing. If those players are back, that's going to make all the difference.
So basically, our front 11, our first 11 is good enough to get us up.
Absolutely.
We lose any of them, we ain't good enough to go up.
Not if we lose any of them. I mean, it's like we were without Ranger for a while over Christmas, and we all thought that could be a bit of a problem. But we didn't miss him at all. Fortunately, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And he was the one player that we thought we would miss. But I know you won't agree, but I think Wordsworth is a huge miss because at the end of the day, we haven't got anyone else who can play in that position.
Interestingly, yesterday we were in a queue for a beer, strangely enough, at the ground, and Shane had a conversation with a guy who had been on the coach with us, who was in front of us, and he had exactly the same opinion of Wordsworth as Shane and I have, in that he's fantastic when you're winning and going forward and he scores goals, but he disappears as soon as you're losing.
And why is that a bad thing? You need players like that.
Yeah, but
You can't have players in a team who disappear when you're trying to win.
And the fact is, he doesn't disappear anyway.
Yes,
It's
he
just
does.
been proved. It's just been proved. It's just been proved that he's actually our second, the one who runs the most second after Atkinson. And even then, you still weren't satisfied.
Mo Farah runs 5,000 metres and whatever. It don't make him a bloody good footballer, does
At
it?
the end of the day, he's our second top scorer. He's got 11 goals, for God's sake. You take those 11 goals away this season, and we would be considerably further down the league.
This is true.
That is what it's all about. Even when he's had a spell, when he's been crap, he's still popped up with the odd goal.
And if you take away the two goals he gave of Bristol Rovers, we might have 3 more points and we'd be higher. We'd be in the playoffs comfortably now.
We'd have 1 more point because we didn't score either in that game.
We would still be in the playoffs now, wouldn't we? If Wordsworth had bothered to, oh no, I'm not tackling now, I might hurt myself, I can't do that. Let him run by me. And the
He
second
tackles all the time.
That's not. He sticks his foot out and goes, ooh. It's like testing the bath water and is that a bit hot? Oh no, I can't do that.
Well, the fact is, without him, we would be in a far worse position, and that is a fact.
That's
we
debatable.
saw what happens yesterday when we take both him and Lenny out of midfield. And as I said,
you said Tim had come in for Lenny. You got no problem with that.
Exactly. But alongside him, you can't have Amos alongside him. You need someone like Wordsworth, or if not Wordsworth, then the only other. What in the middle? He's never played in the middle, has he? I mean, I wouldn't be averse to him stick him in there anyway, O'Neill. But the only other player that I would put in that position is Bridge, and yeah, God knows what happened to him
He's
in
disappeared
the game.
yeah.
Yeah, so but Amos looks alright, decent enough,
I think Amos
but
is
there's no way if Amos had been playing for us all season, there's no way he would have got 11 goals. So
what about Christian then, the goalkeeper? Impressed?
Yeah, very impressed actually. In fact, as much as I hate to say it, because we all love Ted Smith, and I believe he is the future, but at the moment, I don't think, and he has improved a lot, and he's good enough for the league. But imagine if we were in a penalty shootout at Wembley, and we all remember what happened the last time we were in a penalty shootout at Wembley with Dan Bentley in goal. Can you imagine with Ted Smith in goal? I would be considerably less confident.
Yeah, I think I would, because Walton does look a big. I mean, he's the same age as Ted, isn't he? That surprised me.
Yeah. But he's got more experience. I mean, he's been on loan at Luton most of the season.
Oh, is he?
So
They actually recalled him back from a loan at Luton because he was they had injuries, so he was on the bench for Brighton for a bit, never got to play, and then obviously the other goalie must be fit now. Because then he's come to us. So he has been playing. He's been getting experience, which is obviously what we've all been saying all along. Ted Smith needs, but I think the problem is because it is an emergency loan. So as I understand it, as soon as one of our other goalies is fit, which obviously could be Ted, because I think Cox is out for the season. As soon exactly. As soon as Ted is fit, I think we have to send him back. So
it'd be a shame because I think he's.
It would be a shame because I actually think that was Will Bowie. I didn't really count that as one of our current injuries because I think that is an improvement. And as I said, I don't like to say it. Ted is our future, but at the moment, Walton is just that.
Do you honestly believe if we made the championship, Ted would be our first choice goalkeeper?
No.
Would Oxley be your first choice goalkeeper?
No chance. No, I think. I still believe, as I said, that Ted will be our future, but I think he would need to go on loan maybe to a League Two team.
We've been saying that this season, haven't we? When we had Oxley and
but then since he's come back in the team, he has done really well. But no, I think we'd have to. Well, if we could, if there was any likelihood, bust a gut to try and get Walton, especially if Brighton are in the Prem anyway. They're less likely to play him. So
more experienced.
Yeah.
All right, so we stay in League One. Do you keep Ted? Was Ted still be on ahead of Oxley? If Oxley did Oxley get a 2-year deal? Didn't he?
I think so. Yeah. I would stick with Ted if it's in League One.
If you're in League One next season, you've got a chance to sign Walton.
Oh well, if we've got a chance to sign Walton.
Now, would you sign him and play him ahead of Ted, or would you play Ted, or would you play Oxley, or who would you play?
If you signed him, you'd have to play him. At the moment, he looks so much like Bentley. But I think whereas Ted isn't quite there yet. I think if we were able to sign him permanently in League One, we'd play him, send Ted on loan to a League Two team or even a conference team. Hopefully, he could get in a League Two team.
Why would you send him to League Two, Ted? When he's played League One all season.
Well.
I've known you stuck for words before.
I know it's a tough one, but I still think. I think a year in League Two would do anyone good. Apart from anything, it's a bit more.
Bentley cut his teeth in League Two.
Yeah, it's a bit more rough and tumble, so to speak.
Right, all right. So season's over. We're still in League One. Who do you keep? Who do you let go?
What, the whole squad?
Yep.
Well,
who's that?
Nublé, bye. And Hines, obviously. There's no way in a million years I would even consider having it.
For once in a blue moon, I'll give them two.
Given, assuming that we still have Cox, Ranger, Fortuné, and Robinson, then unfortunately Mooney's got to go too. Bit of a shame, but there's he hasn't got hope in hell again.
Do you actually think he'll sign Fortuné again?
Fortuné's under contract to the end of next season anyway.
What did he get? 18 months.
Yeah.
I thought it was only to the end of the season.
No, it's the end of next season.
Oh, that's right, then, that's fine.
So, and he's proved this season.
Contract anyway at the end
I
of the
think it probably would be actually.
So
we don't normally give anyone more than 2 years, do we?
You would keep Cox. I think
Yeah, he's our top scorer. He's got 13 goals.
Yeah.
And there've been quality finishes as well.
But it's
I mean, I
fits
do
and
think.
starts, isn't it? It's fits and starts.
Oh yeah, I mean the last couple of games is striking. Yeah, I agree. Fortunately, much better than Robinson. Unfortunately, he's also twice his age. But yeah,
I
I
would
think.
start with Fortune, and then you've got Robinson to come on, who
Yeah,
can run
yeah,
at players.
yeah,
I agree
exactly.
with you, Chris.
Yeah. But last.
I'm not sure.
Last few games, I think Cox's shooting has been a little bit off, although he obviously got a great goal at Wimbledon.
But he's a lazy lump of lard.
He's had an awful lot of chances where he should have scored and he hasn't this season. I get quite cross.
I
but I
think,
only do it with Cox. Other players miss and I don't get cross, which...
I think in relation to, I think if you actually compare those with the
he was
goals,
right in front of me. He almost landed on my lap.
I think if you compare that with the goals that he's actually scored for us, then I think that's a bit unfair because you actually look at the goals that he scored, especially when he had that long scoring spell at Root Sol, and the quality of some of his finishes. And you know, like Rochdale, last minute, I can't see anyone else would have popped up with that goal.
No, I'll give you that.
And yeah, he's an important player.
Probably because he's been walking around for the other 89 minutes. He's still got energy left to try and score a
Yeah,
goal.
but we need players to be able to do that. And I mean, also, I mean, obviously it took him a while to get going at the start of the season, partly because he didn't have a decent partner, I think.
Yes,
Obviously, he started up front with
he was
Mooney.
a completely different
Yeah,
player
and
Mooney beside him.
Yeah, I think that made a difference as well. Since he's had a decent partner, he's improved so much. And I mean, he actually played with Fortunate at West Brom, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So and obviously, yeah, him and Ranger have done well together. I think it's noticeable how Ranger is suddenly, he is now really looking like the player.
Shouldn't be in the club.
Yeah. Well, I know you think that, but and what was that utter nonsense that you were saying at the earlier in the season? You said that, I think one of the directors told you, but I said at the time, what an absolute load of rubbish. You insisted that Ranger would have been out of the game so long that he would never ever be fit.
He's not fit. He's not
But
fit.
he's not fit now because he's injured.
He's not fit anyway.
But it's so ridiculous.
He's not fit, man. You can see that. He's
Well-
not fit. He's never going to be 100% fit. Never. That's what was we not told that?
Yeah.
He will never be 100% fit.
Just because he's been out for so long. What a stupid thing to
He
say.
doesn't put the effort in to be fit. He doesn't put the effort in on the training ground.
But the fact is, he has shown recently that I mean, he obviously, yeah, it was very noticeable that he was missing on that. He was missing yesterday, and he's proved the last few weeks. Just the quality that he offers.
Oh, he's definitely very talented. Didn't they say something on the goal rush?
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, he
Last
could be.
week.
He could be one of the best strikers in the country.
Yeah.
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 And I think if he really put the effort in, which he doesn't do, then he would be. And
I
then
have
we
no
wouldn't have him.
no qualms with that at all. It just pisses me off when players like him waste their talent. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, but the point is if he hadn't wasted his talent, we wouldn't have him.
No, exactly. Exactly. Why, you know, this... Oh, no.
And I'm quite happy with the fact that we have got him now. I'm glad he's wasted his talent, and if he is as appreciative as he makes out to be as well, and he's going to stick around for
Even
a
though he's
while
going
for us
behind
and do a while
doing
for us.
cocaine or whatever, allegedly.
Yeah, along with the rest of the squads, but apparently that doesn't matter to you,
Allegedly.
just because they didn't get found out.
Allegedly.
So
Allegedly.
And as I said before, I don't see what the hell what recreational drugs have got to do with the FA anyway. It's not performance enhancing, so I don't see what
They're
it's
also
got to do with
illegal.
them. Well, yeah, but
And
yeah,
therefore you shouldn't be in the public eye and doing
yes. Well,
things
personally,
that are against the
I
law.
prefer to live my life by what is right and wrong, not what the government once decided was right and wrong. And so I'm not saying that cocaine is good, and I think anyone who does it is a fucking idiot, but that's not the point. I don't think it should be a matter for the FA, and it seems like half the Premier League players have had suspension one time or other for coke anyway. So.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Get that in there, allegedly.
Yeah. So anyway,
Right, so you've gone through, that's your strikers, so you go through your midfield now. McGlashan. Out the
It's
door.
a
Big
tough one.
disappointment.
The thing is,
He doesn't get a run of games, does he?
he's too much like Weston, which is ironic,
Yeah.
seeing as we signed him from Gillingham, and his first season at Gillingham he was apparently their player of the season, and his second season was crap, and then came to us, exactly like Weston. But the thing is, I mean, I've watched a few of our goals again recently, and there are so many of them where McGlashan, the effort he puts in to to win the ball and everything, and I've been so impressed with him at times. And I mean, I thought he was unlucky yesterday, where it seemed like every time he got the ball, every time he went to a challenge, he got penalised.
Because he does stupid things.
But the trouble is, well, it depends who else we get, because clearly Hines has got to go.
Yeah.
McLaughlin is going to stay. I've never really thought McLaughlin was quite as amazing as some people, including Brown, seem to think. But he does have good moments. But we need another winger. Without that, and O'Neill can do a job there. I'll be surprised if he stays, because he just doesn't get enough chances, which I think he deserves more. So I think it depends. We need another winger. But McGlashan is an adequate replacement. He's never going to be a regular starter, though, is he? He's always going to be a
he's going to be happy just to take his money and say thank you very much. And
I don't know that he will, because something I read, I got the impression that he really wants to be playing and not just keep coming off the bench all the time.
I mean, he's not consistent enough. He'd be a good squad player, but he's not consistent. Wordsworth, you've got to keep. I mean, he's getting on a bit now anyway, so he's not
question,
like...
Philip. We're all asking
Philip, I'll answer that question for you. We had a trust meeting with Ron a couple of months ago when Nouble first signed. Ron even turned around and said, this is his exact words, he said to Brown, "Why do you want to sign him? I watched him play against Gillingham on the TV, and he was awful." This is what Ron said he told Brown. Whether I'm supposed to be saying this tonight, I don't know, but I am anyway. He was awful. Why do you want to sign him? When it come down to it, they signed him because he was cheap. That's the bottom line. They thought he wouldn't sign an extended contract. He wouldn't sign a roll-on contract. So they knew he was only going to use us as a stepping stone to somebody else in the summer. This is what
Well, there's going to be someone worse than us, then, isn't it?
But the only reason,
that's more for him.
The only reason we signed him is because he was cheap. That's it. That's why we signed him.
Yeah, and of course at the time we didn't know what was going to happen with Ranger.
No. So they panicked, I'm assuming.
But the fact is now there's absolutely no need to. I mean, for all we know, he might have been amazing in training, and Brown thought he deserved the chance ahead of Fortunately. It doesn't make sense, but at the end of the day, he's awful, and he needs to go. That's that. We've got 4 top quality strikers. One of them is injured at the moment, but we don't need Nouble. Going back to the other players, I think, well, at the end of the day, I don't think there's anyone else in midfield apart from, I said Hines. I don't think there's anyone I would get rid of.
Well, Lenny's going to go, isn't he?
Yeah, Lenny is quite possibly going to go.
I think that would be a shame. I'd like to keep Lenny.
And then, God knows where we get a replacement from, but at the very least, we then need to absolutely ensure that we keep Timlin. And I think, Wordsworth has got to stay. And it's not like Wordsworth is a kid anymore, so he's played in the Championship before, so hopefully he won't be...
Timlin's got a message and that. They live in Lee now, doesn't he? He lives on Lee on C now, Timlin, so... I'd be very surprised if he just go anywhere else. I'd be surprised.
Exactly. Which is a bit of a surprise, really, knowing the sort of character he is. The fact that he hasn't played so much the last couple of years, but he's still a great player. And I actually thought, as much as I want Coker back at left back, I actually thought a couple of his interceptions against Bolton were fantastic. So he did make some very important tackles and stuff. So and what, we haven't got the other midfielders. I think obviously Amos that will go to Spurs. I suppose you'd have to keep him as well. I mean, he's another player that you don't really miss until he's gone.
Very hard though, doesn't he, Atkinson?
I mean, obviously, as we all know, if it was down to Shane, we'd have 11 Atkinsons, and every single game would finish 0-0. But one of them is fine. I'm happy with one. We should keep him.
Brown was very ecstatic. There we go, finish 0-0 because he goes out to do that.
Well, he clearly doesn't, or then he would have made defensive substitutions yesterday rather than attacking substitutions. Well, if you can call Newblay an attacking substitution.
Right, you're back for. Cobra will be gone.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do suspect us getting promoted is possibly the only way to keep Coker. He was linked with Reading last season. They actually made a couple of bids for him, apparently. Same as Lenny was.
I'll drive him.
Yes, I know you would, because obviously Shane hates him, which is just proof
Don't
that...
hate him.
Proof
That's
that,
a very strong
all
word.
right.
Don't hate him.
Shane doesn't like him as a footballer, which is just conclusive proof that he's a great player. So that would be a very big miss. And yeah, Ferdinand is quality, and Thompson has had a great season as well, apart from his own goal yesterday. But obviously we need someone else. Yeah, White has done fantastic when he's filled in.
When he's come in, has been brilliant.
He really has. But we still need another centre back, and right back. Well, I would say if White and O'Neill were still with us, and obviously Dimitri, then I think we're fine. Right back.
So you keep Dimitri at right back, even though he can't defend to save his life.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into that one again. Yes, I would keep Dimitri.
We do seem to go over the same ground, don't we?
Yeah. So yeah, but we definitely need a new centre.
And the big one, the cock at the head of it all, Brown.
Well, why would you get rid of Brown?
Would you keep? Where will he stay? Will he go?
Well, I mean,
I don't think he's going to take himself around to another club then.
Well, I said this time last season, I was virtually the only person in Britain who didn't insist he was definitely leaving. I thought he would stay, and obviously he did. But this season, I don't know. I think if he gets us to the Championship, I'm sure he will stay. But you never know. I mean, if we miss out, and I think we do need to get into the playoffs, but if we actually miss out on promotion, then if a bigger team comes in for him, maybe a Championship team, it's not impossible. At the end of the day, he could say, he's proved he's still got it to an extent. He's taken us from mid-table League Two to the League One playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he did go. I mean, he obviously has a good relationship with Ron, and he's been with us for quite a long time. At the same time, you see managers all the time who have been there for years, turn down the opportunity to go to a bigger club and then get sacked the following year because they have a few bad games. So it just happens. So.
And to be fair, whatever you think of Brown, he did get us up, and we have finished in the top half of the table every season.
Exactly.
He's been our manager.
And to answer your question, Phil, I believe, as I've said most of the season, I think we will get the playoffs, but I think we will lose them. I just pray that we don't lose at Wembley. If we lose, then I hope it's in the semi.
Wembley, yeah.
Apart from the fact that it will mean not just because it will mean that me having to cancel my flight to Amsterdam. But yeah, I can't see us getting promotion. But once you're in the playoffs, there's a lot at the end of the day. Anything can happen. And quite often the team that comes up with a late surge does it. Barnsley last season, for example. Mm. And in fact, talking of Barnsley, at the start of the season when we were in a relegation zone, and I constantly referred to the fact that Barnsley were down there at Christmas the previous year when they got promoted, and absolutely everyone thought I was completely insane and was just like, that's never going to happen. Well, I'm not saying we're going to get promoted, but look where we are now. Anything is possible.
I would like one season to be like Sheffield United and Doncaster fans are, and have automatic promotion this early before the end of the season.
Oh yeah, so would I.
That's a great achievement.
And I believe, again, I don't understand why, but Shane laughed when I said this last time. I believe if we don't go up this season, that we've got to be looking to challenge for the automatics next season.
He's shaking his head there.
Really?
Obviously. Yeah. Whereas, obviously Shane will probably just expect us to get relegated.
But it really depends, doesn't it, on the players that we bring in?
Of course it does. It
because
always
Brown,
does. But
in the January transfer window, said, "Judge me on my signings."
No, that was in August one. Yeah, and then we didn't sign anyone. Yeah, that wasn't his smartest moment. Now Hines Hines and Nublet were in January, but it was at the end of the August transfer window when we said that, and then he didn't sign anyone at all on that last day.
And then you signed Hines and Nublet in the January one. And
Phil, I'll
they're
answer
the
your
two
question
players
now.
we
These
really
two have
want
had
to get rid
their,
of.
they're babbling away. They've had their. I actually think we can make the playoffs. My big concern is that Brown will start tinkering and start trying to shut up shop and do silly things, and he'll cost us games. That's what he does. That's his nature. That's his makeup. I just wish he would go out 4-4-2, go out 4 games to go, win them all. Try and win them all.
Yeah, I agree. He probably will, but
he'll start. If we go 1-0 up, say, who we got coming up? Not Berry. If we're 1-0 up at Shrewsbury, comfortable, he'll try and shut the shot up and take the 1-0 and walk away. He won't try and go for the second goal. That's the problem. That's what worries me with him. That's his nature.
I don't
He's
agree.
too
People still say it, but I don't think that's been the case a lot of the time this season at all. I think sometimes. I think sometimes.
He knows what as I do.
I think sometimes just because the other team get a bit more into a game, people see that as us sitting back when it's not simple.
And as I've said all season, and I stick by it, we have no. He has no plan B. He has a plan when he goes out there not to lose a game of football. When it starts going wrong, then he starts struggling.
He does have a plan B. The trouble is his plan B never works, and neither does his plan C.
Well, in the Echo last week, sometime, I was reading Wordsworth's comments, and he was saying we need to learn how to break down teams who come to defend en masse, and that's the one thing we just cannot do.
And we've been hearing that from various players and managers of ours for the last 20 years.
Yes.
So, but at the end of the day, I think if everyone is fit, and as long as we don't suddenly have a meltdown like the first half at look, we've just been talking about that for the last half an hour, Alan. Will you just keep up? We'll go over it again. I think unless we have like a complete meltdown like the first half an hour at Bristol Rovers, I don't think it will change it. It was different. I mean, we all saw that. At the end of League Two, when after the 7 wins in a row.
To be fair, even at Bristol Rovers, when he took Fortune off, who was the best player on the pitch?
Well, yeah, I know that didn't make sense either.
This is my whole argument with him.
But we all know. Yeah, we all know what he's like. And I mean, going back to the end of the championship season when we won 7 in a row, and then he changed it again. Changed the formation again, and we lost at Morecambe.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we didn't have the strikers then that we got now. I think if everyone is fit, we will go back to the regular starting 11 with Ranger up front, Wordsworth in midfield, etc. And we will play that team throughout the playoffs. And then, but there's always a chance that we could have maybe say that the first leg of the playoff semi went badly, then he would almost certainly completely change it for the second leg, and then we wouldn't have a hope in hell of going through.
but conversely to that, if we had the first leg at home and we'd done all right, and we got out of it 1-0, 2-0, 2-1,
you don't know what he
definitely
might do.
shut up shop on the next. He'll try and shut the shop up. That's what he does. Instead of going out to try and win it, that's what worries me.
Yeah, well.
As the guy from Millwall, your mate Wilt, who's on here, technically on paper we've got an easier run in than Millwall. I wouldn't be quite so sure on that. Because you've got 2 teams down there that are fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even Bury could be, by then Bury could be in the mix. And that could, Bury coming to us on the last day of the season, needing the win to stay up. That plays into our hands to a point, because we do like teams to come at us and have a go, and then we're comfortable.
But that's this time of the season. Teams at the bottom always start picking points up. Teams at the top start dropping.
Bury come to us the last day of the season, and we need a win to make the playoffs. Bury only need not to lose to stay in the league. They're going to shut up shop big time, and we ain't going to have a clue what to do. It's just going to, what's going to happen. It's just going to be the hump the long ball in the box and just hope.
And Millwall, 3 of their last 4 games.
Definitely.
Phil, we all know that, Philip. We all know that, and he just doesn't do it.
3 of Millwall's last 4 games are against teams challenging for the playoffs. So they are going to be going all out to win. We all remember that. In fact, the Doncaster fans were even laughing about that last season when we went up there.
Yeah.
Although they were just like little kids who wouldn't have even been born probably when that game was on. But still, anyway.
But hang on. So all right. So you're saying about them playing Fleetwood. If Fleetwood are already in the playoffs and safe and assured of their place,
is
Rosler going to start resting players and taking players.
Possibly.
You know,
isn't it the next game they've got on though?
I think it is the next game.
Yeah.
I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the case. So.
No, but you get to that stage, don't you?
Oh yeah. So anyway, we've been rabbiting on for more than 45 minutes now. So I think we.
Well, Darren has. We're just butting occasionally.
Yeah, all right. I think we need to sum up. So, who is the next game? Yeah, Chesterfield away.
Chesterfield away on Friday.
Right, so, Shane, your prediction for Chesterfield away and for the remainder of the season?
Chesterfield away, 3-0 win.
Blimey.
There you go.
Well, that's clearly not going to happen then. We're going to get screwed there now. Eastwood Junior, yeah, I hope so.
Apparently he's got the attitude, Alan. Apparently his attitude stinks, so he's got the right attitude to be a quality player.
Yeah, apparently he needed to kick up the arse from his granddad to get going.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if that means that he stays with us and doesn't play for anyone good, then
yeah.
Days.
No, apparently he could make it, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, so you reckon 3-0 win and
only because it's Chesterfield, and if we're going to be in the playoffs, we've got to win,
and we're more than capable. And I've seen us score 3 there before.
Yeah.
And a prediction for the rest of the season.
Right. We'll win Chesterfield. We'll win MK Dons. Who's after that?
Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury will be a draw, and we'll beat Bury.
And then where will we end up?
We'll be 7th, 6th, 7th. Well, we'll just make the playoffs. We'll sneak in the playoffs. They are.
But you presumably think we'd lose them?
I think if we make the playoffs, we'll win them.
Really?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So you're basically just said you think we're going to get promoted.
I'm
What's going on?
I'm not saying that. I'm just looking. I just look at the fixtures that are coming up. Yes, we can make the play. We're getting the playoffs, and we've got.
Yeah, that will help.
Yeah. I think Brown's a very, very lucky manager, and he's just lucky enough to pull this off.
Yeah, and I would far rather have a lucky manager than a good one.
Well, yeah, let's give me 10 lucky generals rather than one brave one.
Eh?
No. Why'd you say that?
Don't know. Alan,
Yeah, I'd love to finish 18 because that proved me right.
Yeah. Alan, have you been sniffing glue again? Anyway, Claire. So what is your prediction for Friday?
I think we'll win Friday. I go 2-0. I'm not quite so confident on a 3-0. I'll go 2-0 win on Friday. I think we'll beat MK Dons.
What Alan's saying there is, would you rather just miss out on the playoffs or finish 18th?
I think I'd rather just miss out on the playoffs.
The good thing is that we've got 4 games to go, and we've still got something to play for, which is we're not on the beach like MK Dons and teams like that. We're actually. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd still rather that. At the end of the day, it's all about making progress. And as I said, then I would expect us to be changing for the automatics next season if we don't go up. So you think we're gonna win 2-0?
Yeah.
And
I think we'll beat MK Dons. I'm thinking because we're all going to be in Shrewsbury for the weekend, a win should be on the cards. It probably won't be because they usually spoil our weekends away. And then I think we'll lose to Bury on the last day of the season.
And where do you think we will finish?
I think we'll just scrape into the playoffs.
And you think we'll win them?
I'm going to sit on the fence on that one.
Okay.
Depends who we get.
Yeah, I
put my opinions out there to be shot down, get myself shot down. I don't sit on the fence and get sprinters up.
If I had a strong opinion either way, I would voice it, but I just haven't. I'm not sure. Really not sure.
I honestly think we will win the last 4 games. We will probably, more than likely, we will drop points in one of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was this Friday. But I'm going for winning all the last 4 anyway. I think we will make a playoff, so I think it will be in 6th. And as I said earlier, I don't think we will win the playoffs. But at the same time, anything can happen when you're in the playoffs. We've got as good a chance as anyone. So, but I personally think we will go out in the semis.
On that subject, will we be having our next Blues over Booze after the season has finished?
I don't know. Oh yeah, you can't do next week, can you? And then we will Shrewsbury the weekend after that.
And then it's Belly. And then we're at the end of season ball that Sunday evening.
But that's the day of the Belly game anyway. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not at that ball because I wasn't invited. But we've got a Belly game anyway.
So maybe on the.
So yeah, it probably will be the end of the season actually.
Yeah.
So the end of the traditional season, hopefully pre-playoffs.
Between-
We might try and sneak one in the week before the Bury game just to see what's going on.
Yeah, so we definitely, whatever happens, we need to have one more as like the season finale. But yeah, I don't think there'll be another one before the next 4 games. Well, yeah, possibly, as you say, we might squeeze one in the week before Bury.
We'll get one
So,
in before Bury.
so we'll see. So anyway, unless anyone else has got anything to add, because I think this has been the longest one ever. So anyone who is still watching has probably fallen asleep by now. So thank you very much, everyone. And good night, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Good night, and here's to a great end of the season.